If you keep using AI the way most people are right now, you're gonna make yourself completely invisible. You might think using AI more gives you an advantage, especially when it lets you move faster and produce more. But what happens when everyone else is doing the exact same thing? See, right now, someone opens ChatGPT and they type in,
"Write me a viral script about success."
And what comes out, it sounds clean, it even sounds structured, even impressive at first, but it also sounds like everything else you've already heard. And that's the problem. Everyone now has access to the same tools, the same prompts, the same outputs at scale. The more people rely on AI for everything, the more uniform everything starts to feel. The same tone, the same phrasing, the same recycled ideas, packaged slightly differently. And when everything sounds the same, nothing stands out. So the advantage that you thought that you had, speed, volume, efficiency, it actually cancels itself out because now everyone has it. Which means the real question isn't how do I use more AI, it's how do I avoid sounding like everyone else who's using it. The people who will be the most successful over the next 3 to 5 years, they won't be the ones who use AI the most, they'll be the ones who use it the smartest. And you can already start to see this happening everywhere in texts, emails, even videos. But why does it feel so easy to spot? You get a message that says something like,
"Hope this message finds you well. I wanted to reach out and express my interest in connecting further."
And nothing about it is technically wrong, but something feels off. We've all seen it. The tone is just slightly too polished, the structure is a little too perfect, and the phrasing, it just feels generic. There's no personality, there's no specificity, there's no real perspective behind it. And you can't always explain it, but you can feel it. Because real communication, it has texture, it has imperfections, it has opinions, and it has conviction. But AI-generated communication, it smooths all of that stuff out. So even if the words are good, they just don't feel right. And when something doesn't feel real, people subconsciously trust it less. Now, I love you enough to tell you this. We can all tell when your text, your email, or your video was written entirely by AI. And I'm telling you that instantly lowers how much people value it. So if AI makes everything easier to produce, then what does that do to the value of what you're creating? I want you to think about this. A 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle baseball card is sold for $12.6 million. A 1985 Super Mario Bros. Cartridge sold for over $1 million. But why is that? Because there's almost none of them left. See, value actually comes from rarity. It's the same thing with money. The more dollars that you print, the less each one is worth, and that's what we call inflation. Now, apply that to content. If AI makes it easier to create content, then more people can create content. And when more people create it, it stops being rare. And when it stops being rare, people stop valuing it the same way. So the issue, it isn't just that there's more content now, it's that most of it feels interchangeable. Things are valuable because they're rare. And the more AI-generated content floods the internet, the less valuable that content actually becomes. It's not just that there's more content, it's how that content is created. So where is AI actually getting its ideas from? Here's what most people don't actually think about. AI doesn't think. It pulls patterns across existing content on the internet and it recombines and reformulates what already exists, which means that if you rely too heavily on it, then you're not actually creating anything new. You are remixing what has already been said. And that's why so much AI content feels familiar. It's not bad, it's just not original. And over time, that becomes a big problem because if everything you produce feels slightly recycled, people stop remembering it and people don't care about it. Instead of starting with,
"Write me a viral script about success,"
you start with your own idea. You start with your own thoughts. Then you use AI to sharpen it, not create it. And now it actually sounds like something. All right, so if AI is making generic outputs more common, what's moving in the opposite direction? What's actually becoming harder to find? I want you to think about the last time that you got something that actually felt personal. A real voice memo, a thoughtful message, something where you could tell the person actually stopped and thought. That's what's becoming rare because most people, they're optimizing for speed, faster replies, faster content, faster output, but faster usually means shallower. So now anything that feels intentional immediately stands out. Not because it's flashy, but because it's actually real. So a thoughtful email, a real voice note, or someone who actually takes time to think before responding is becoming increasingly more rare and therefore more valuable. And this is where most people go wrong, not by using AI, but how they're using it. So what's the actual mistake? Here's what it usually looks like. Someone opens AI and they say,
"Give me 10 content ideas. Write me a script. Make this go viral."
and they build everything from that. But the problem is that they're starting with AI instead of starting with themselves. They're outsourcing the hardest part, which is thinking through ideas, structuring your thoughts, forming actual opinions. And that's the part that creates originality. And when you skip that, everything you produce feels generic because it is. But when you come up with the idea first, you outline it, you decide what you actually believe, and then you bring AI in to refine, tighten, and improve. Now that's your actual voice, but it's just been sharpened. If you let AI come up with everything from scratch, you're skipping the one step that actually makes your work valuable, and that is you, your own thinking. And so when you zoom out, all of this, it really just comes down to one simple decision that you make every time you use AI. You can choose convenience, or you can choose differentiation. You can let it generate everything, or you can bring your own perspective first, because one path makes you faster, but the other makes you valuable. And long term, only one of those actually wins. What's your favorite thing that you're using AI for right now? Drop it in the comments. Let's help each other get better in the AI age. I did a video where I walk you through how I created an entire AI staff for less than $100 per month, and I 3x'd my output. Check it out here and make sure you subscribe.